anybody of interest who won't be, normal stuff?
Yeah, normal stuff.
Yeah.
How's Malik doing with his toe?
Good.
We gonna see him out there?
Yeah, he'll be doing a similar thing that he's done the last couple times you've been out.
So rehab.
Yeah, he'll probably, he did a little bit of walkthrough here, but he's progressing. He'll be okay.
How about Darius' team?
He's same.
What are your thoughts on how the tempo of practices this year as opposed to previous years?
Yeah, I think the guys are out there competing. I think we're getting a lot of work done. I'm encouraged by the progress that all three phases have made from the beginning of, since they've been here, phase one, all the way through. That's the process of the off season. Again, I like the way the guys are competing.
Well, sometimes there's a tendency to look at, guys who might be available around the league and, that guy will be better than our guy. You know what I mean? What is it about Darius Slayton, who you had, he came in, he was, you didn't embrace and play him right away and everything, and that he has survived and this organization has put money into him and you obviously believe in him or else he wouldn't be out there still.
Yeah, that's a good question. He's a pro, first and foremost. He never let any circumstance get in his way of him continuing to try to improve and do his job. And when he's out opportunities, he's made plays for us. He has good leadership traits. He's been here a long time in NFL years. He's good with the young guys. The quarterback's got a lot of trust in him. I certainly do. But I just appreciate his discipline and how he goes about his job, his attitude, whether things were good, whether things were bad, his work ethic. That's why we brought him back.
Is that somebody that had to, they all had to prove something to you when you got here, but he had been here already. You almost look back and think, maybe I didn't expect him to do all that, you know what I mean? Because like I said, he was not a guy you just threw out there right away and targeted him.
Sure. Yeah, my focus is on now, how he is now for us.
But he had to evolve with you.
Yeah, I think every player evolves, but I appreciate the way he is, the way he's been for us. Again, all the things that I mentioned. He's been a good player for us. He's been a good leader. He's been a good person off the field for us. He does things the right way, and you appreciate players like that.
Brian, what is the overall morale like, and how do the veterans impact that?
Yeah, it's been good. Again, like I said, Bruce, we've had a very competitive spring. I think we've got a lot of work done, a lot of things accomplished in terms of the installation of our defense, special teams, and offense, some of the nuances and the new things that we've put in. The guys do a lot of things off the field together. I like this group.
What have you changed, like spring-wise, like process-wise, like the way you're going about it? Like, what did you notice maybe last year that you said, I would like to do more of X?
Yeah, I think, again, we've changed every year from year to year and try to do the things we think we need to do. Obviously, we've added some more 7-on-7 reps in here. That's something that Russell feels really good about. And you can do it one of two ways. You can do a half line to see coverages. You can do a full field 7-on-7. We've added some competitive periods where they have to play the situations out. Not that we didn't do that, but we've placed a little bit more emphasis on it, and not just a third down situation, but maybe a quarter in a game, time left, score. We've done pretty much. I'd say every day we've done a little bit of that.
You said 7-on-7, was that Russ's suggestion?
Yeah, I've talked to Russ. He again, you see it's good for the defense too, in terms of the back seven, just in terms of how they match routes, their zone drops, adjustments, and instead of, you can't do one-on-ones during this time, so 7-on-7 was something that, we thought we'd add, and we've done quite a bit of that, but we've added a number of reps, I would say, too, situational reps. So every year is a little bit different.
How much, when a QB has that many years of experience, I guess, change the way you listen to him and take suggestions or kind of work together? I know you do that on a regular basis anyway.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to listen to the quarterbacks. They're the ones that are touching the ball on every play. Certainly he has a lot of accolades behind his playing career and experience. That's been good. And Jameis has as well, and DeVito, and even Jackson. When you're in that room and you're talking to those guys, they see things from a wide scope perspective and bring things up, and there's a lot of good communication. So I think it's important to really talk and communicate and listen to any of the quarterbacks. But Russ has been good for us, I'd say, in a number of ways since he's been out here.
How cognizant are you? He is a 36-year-old quarterback, and last year he did get hurt at the start of the season, to give him what he needs in the 7-on-7s and learn the offense, but also kind of realize it's a long season and he's 36 years old.
Yeah, I think everyone needs reps, particularly when you're playing in a new system. So we've given him I'd say a lot of reps. He needs them. He needs them because he needs to be able to call the plays and see things and be able to react. So we've divvied up the reps. I'd say pretty evenly, but he's had his fair share. He's had the most.
Russ talked to us about his relationship with Jalen Hyatt, just how he's liked his potential, what he's seen. What have you just seen from him this third mini camp, or this third OTA with Jalen? Yeah. So.
No worries. He's done a nice job for us this camp. He's trying to improve the things that we set out for him to improve. And again, just to go back to Russ, there's excellent communication amongst the quarterbacks and I'd say the skill players. They meet quite a bit together. I think Russ has done a nice job of developing a relationship with Jalen. They sit Russ sits in the front, Jalen sits right behind him, right next to Malik, right next to Wandell. So there's a lot of good communication flow with those guys, and he's done a nice job of trying to improve the things that we asked him to improve on.
What was the focus for him? Obviously, last year was a tough year for him.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into the details and the specifics of what we talked to the guys about, but he's done a nice job of coming out here working hard.
Well, what have you seen him improve?
He's improved in really all facets of being a receiver, and we're going to need him to continue to do that in training camp.
What have you seen from Russell in terms of leadership?
That's been excellent. Not just on the offensive side of the ball, I'd say within the entire team. Defense, special teams. He's a very good communicator. He sees the game well. Obviously, he's done it at a high level. The details of which he approaches his job with, not just his footwork and his eyes and mechanics, but also the other positions, the communication with the line. It's really been good.
Brian, you mentioned the competitiveness of practices so far. Just what was your reaction to the fight last week, and do you like that intensity?
Yeah, it was a competitive period, so try to stay away from that, but moved on pretty quickly from it.
Speaking of practice, you guys came out there doing the joint practice with the Jets again. You've been a part of those. Just how do you feel about those? Just kind of leading up to that preseason game, just that atmosphere.
Yeah, I have a good relationship with AG. Known him for a long time. Obviously, he was with Detroit the last couple of years, and him and I have a good working relationship, a good personal relationship as well. So it was good to sit down and kind of iron through some of the things that we wanted to get done. Logistics of it, we're going to do one practice at their place. We're going to do a practice here. We thought that would be good for both teams, kind of traveling a little bit, good for the fan base. So it's really easy to work with AG, and those are competitive days. They're good for the team.
Doing any others?
We're only doing the Jets.
What have you seen from Adebo so far?
Yeah, he's been a good addition to our defense. Big long corner, can run, can cover, makes plays on the ball, has a number of pass breakups, good in the room for the young guys. It's been a good addition.
How much is Dex? When we come here, we don't see him in team drills. Is that just?
Yeah, I'd say everybody's
back on him. Is it last year's injury? Is it just?
I'd say everybody's at a different point. Everybody's at a different point. There's some guys that are doing some more, some doing less. We just do things right.
Was the turnover chest your idea or was it Bowen's idea?
It was Shane's idea. Yeah. So, they talked about it, and it gets pretty. In the defensive meetings the next day after practice, after a turnover, there's excitement, and it's been good for him.